Few footballers show off superb skill in phases of frustration like Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. From being one of the best strikers in Europe to periods of decline where he was even stripped of the team captaincy, Auba's career has been a rollercoaster of amazing highs and confusing lows. This is the story of a man who at his peak was unstoppable and at his lowest, almost forgotten. Born in France to a Gabonese father who also played professional football, the sport was in Auba's blood since he was born. At just 19 years old, he joined the AC Milan youth team, where he played well, scoring 7 goals in 6 matches as the Milan youth team finished 4th in the only edition of the now extinct Champions Youth Cup. Even with his superhuman speed and scoring in every match of the tournament, it still wasn't enough to make it into the first team. This led him to be loaned to Dijon, Lille, and Monaco before making a permanent move to Saint Etienne in 2011. Next year, under Christophe Galtier, he would shine after scoring his first hat-trick, becoming an essential member of the squad, scoring 16 goals on his way to being 4th in the Ligue 1 Golden Boot race, behind Olivier Giroud, Nene, and Eden Hazard. In 2013, while winning his first major trophy, the Coupe de la Ligue, which was suspended in 2020 to reduce the season's schedule, Auba scored 19 goals, putting him in 2nd for the Ligue 1 Golden Boot and earning him a spot in the Ligue 1 Team of the Season. After Mario Götze left for Bayern, there were rumors swirling around about Lewandowski leaving as well. On July 4, 2013, Auba made the move to the German giant Borussia Dortmund for 13 million euros, and his arrival was electric. On his Bundesliga debut, he scored on his first shot, had a hat-trick, and won Player of the Match as well. One of the best debuts you will ever see. But when I say electric, I mean it. He had Olympic-level speed, but added amazing positioning and clinical finishing, easily climbing the goal charts year by year. The 14-15 season is when he really started to shine, with 36 GA in 46 games for Dortmund. Even though Dortmund finished a surprising 7th, his performance led him to win the African Player of the Year award despite not winning a trophy that year as well. Then, on July 31st, 2015, he signed an extension until 2020, saying, "Dortmund has become like a second home to me. Every part of me wants to be here and I have never wanted to leave." Just when you thought it couldn't get better, it did. In the 15-16 season, he scored 50 GA in just 49 games for Dortmund. Alongside his iconic flipping celebration, he became the first player in Bundesliga history to score in each of his team's opening 6 matches of a season. Halfway through the season, he had 18 goals in 17 matches, leading the league, but eventually slowed down a bit in the second half of the season to end up in 2nd place behind Lewandowski's 30 to Auba's 25. But with Auba not scoring in the last 3 games of the year for Dortmund, they went winless, showing how essential he was for the team's success, as he was deadly all over the pitch. All of this led him to have his highest ever placement in the Ballon d'Or race at 11th. The Bundesliga was the perfect laboratory for his attributes: top-end pace, an explosive first step, and ruthless finishing. With the rumor that he had an Olympic-level 3.7 second 30-meter time, in 2016-17 he started out blazing again. 2 goals against Mainz, and from mid-August to mid-December, he didn't go more than 1 game without scoring. In this same span, he had 4 goals in a game and a set of 4 games with 8 goals and 1 assist. Simply, he was on fire. But on November 2nd, he was benched and didn't play against Sporting because he ended up breaking the club rules. During that 3-game match week, Auba traveled to Milan instead of staying in Dortmund, earning him the suspension. Of course, he came back from the suspension on November 5th with his best game of the season, a hat-trick in 30 minutes, ending in a 4-goal performance versus HSV. And he continued this elite scoring for the rest of the season as well, with multiple goal-scoring streaks to end off the season. This led Dortmund to win their first De Klassiker in over 2 years. But that wasn't his only accomplishment of the season. He would score his 100th goal for Dortmund versus Hoffenheim, score a hat-trick to put Dortmund into the next round of the Champions League, and after losing the last 3 DFB Pokals, score the winning goal against Frankfurt to win the DFB Pokal, topping it all off with the Bundesliga Golden Boot as he scored 31 goals. Truly an iconic season for any player. The 17-18 season started off like usual, on fire. With Aubameyang scoring 8 goals in the first 6 games, Dortmund were looking truly unstoppable. But in the next few months, Aubameyang would be suspended 2 more times by the team, stirring up commotion between him, the teammates, and the coaches. He was suspended because he was missing team meetings and showing up late for training sessions repeatedly. Funnily enough, at the time he was compared to Ousmane Dembele, who also forced his way out by staying away from training sessions as well. As a result of this, transfer rumors started to swirl about Aubameyang. Though initially denied by Arsene Wenger, earlier on January 5th, at the end of the month, Aubameyang would make the blockbuster move to Arsenal, leaving Dortmund as the 8th all-time goalscorer and the only non-German in their top 10 as well. January 2018. Arsenal paid an at the time club record fee of £56 million, and Auba's job was to provide what Arsenal badly needed, an elite finisher. He arrived and instantly provided that. Just like in Dortmund, he scored in his opening match against Everton. A few weeks later, he would end the season with 10 goals and 4 assists in 13 Premier League games. Plus, he was the last goal scorer for Arsenal under Arsene Wenger. The next season was another rise. After being the first player to score 10 goals that season, he then scored his first hat-trick to lead Arsenal to the Europa League final, where of course they would lose to Chelsea because it's Arsenal. But he finished the season with 2 goals in the final game against Burnley, tying Sadio Mane and Mo Salah for the Golden Boot with 22 goals. In the 1920 season, he scored in the first game again in a win over Newcastle. After scoring in every match in September, he ended up winning Player of the Month. While just weeks later though, after blowing a 2-0 lead against Crystal Palace, Arsenal teammate Granit Xhaka would be booed off the field by the fans, leading him to take his shirt off and be stripped of the captaincy on November 5th. Eventually, it was given to Aubameyang. The only issue was that Unai Emery wouldn't survive the year as manager. After interim manager Freddie Ljungberg, Mikel Arteta would become a permanent manager in late December 2019, starting a new leaf for the club. In January 2020, Auba would get his first ever red card for Arsenal with this dangerous tackle on May Meyer, ironically against Crystal Palace again. After the huge global break, because of you-know-what, on July 1st, Auba would score his 50th goal for Arsenal in just 79 appearances, being the fastest in club history and the 6th fastest ever to 50 Prem goals at the time. While scoring 22 goals for the second season in a row, this time he just missed out on the Golden Boot to Jamie Vardy, who won with 23 goals. On the good side, unlike the years before, Arsenal won the FA Cup, with Auba scoring a brace in the semi-finals against Manchester City and another brace in the finals against Chelsea to drop and then lift the trophy. Later that year, after scoring in the first game of the season again, he signed a new contract through 2023 and scored to get Arsenal its first win at Old Trafford in 14 years. Sadly, to start the new year 2021, he missed several matches taking care of his sick mother, but that's where the conflict started as well. Multiple other times in 2021, Aubameyang was suspended until he was eventually stripped of the captaincy in December. Just 2 months later, Auba and Arsenal mutually agreed to part ways, leading him to sign a 3-year contract with Barcelona at the beginning of 2022. As a person, Aubameyang was a fun vibe to be around. With all kinds of memorable moments, as you know. Whether it was fan interactions, locker room videos with his teammates, or his on-the-field celebrations, he was always one of one with how he expressed himself. Remember to like, subscribe, and comment. February 2022. While not scoring in his first game off the bench for Barcelona, in his first start, he had a hat-trick.
You can't keep getting away with it!
Not even surprised at this point, honestly. He did play well at Barca, including a brace in the El Clasico, still showing that he could play at a high level, but he didn't last long in Spain. His first goal was in February and his last goal was in May of the same year, yet somehow he managed to play 8 minutes in the first game of the 2022-23 season for Barcelona in August, so when they won the La Liga title in May 2023, he technically won his very first league title of his career. After this, he was sold back to Chelsea because Barcelona were completely broke at the time. Even worse for him, at this time he had his home in Spain broken into, and his jaw was broken during the conflict, likely affecting his play at Chelsea as well. Back in London, Aubameyang signed a 2-year contract with Chelsea in September 2022, reuniting with Thomas Tuchel from Dortmund, but this was only for 5 days before Tuchel ended up leaving the club. Somehow Aubameyang managed to score in his league debut again for Chelsea, of course against Crystal Palace.
You can't keep getting away with it!
But that happened to be his only goal for Chelsea, despite playing in over 15 games for them. With all of the players Chelsea was signing at the time, the staff changes, and confusing system, Aubameyang didn't produce well and decided to leave Chelsea a year later in the summer of 2023, July 2023. While not scoring in his first game for Marseille, he did score a brace in his first Europa League game with Marseille, and this would be the tournament that he shined in for them. He became the all-time Europa League top scorer in February 2024 and had brought Marseille all the way to the semi-finals before losing to Atalanta. Even with Marseille being a good fit, using his experience and intelligence to be effective rather than just his speed, like Barcelona, because his salary was too big, he had to leave and go to Saudi. Just a year later in July 2024, Aubameyang would sign a 2-year contract with newly promoted Saudi club Al Qataria, but after scoring 17 goals, he would return right back to Marseille in 2025, getting around half of the wages he got back in 2023 after establishing a good relationship with the executive Pablo Longoria. So far, he has been off to a good start for Marseille at 36 years old. With how great Aubameyang was, watching his career unfolding still leaves you with a little bit of disappointment. Despite being one of the best goal scorers in the world for several different seasons on several different teams, he never actually won a league title with the team that he was on. While having amazing scoring peaks with Arsenal and Dortmund, he also had terrible lows where he wasn't producing at all. Alongside this, he constantly had issues with coaches and training consistently. He was disciplined often for being late to practice, creating large rifts within the team. But I wouldn't call him a failure at all. He's just an example of how much the surroundings matter to a player's success. The right manager, the right system, and stability off the pitch help talent like him thrive. While he won't be remembered as one of the greatest ever, he will be known as one of the most exciting forwards of his generation, a truly talented player that could score against anyone. And he's one of the best breakdancers ever. This is Gade Films. Like, comment, subscribe, and stay fantastic.